Hello everyone, welcome back. Today, I want to show you guys my playground slash prison workout. Okay, so this is a workout that I do a lot of times when I'm traveling and I don't have access to my personal gym. And over the last year, I was doing a lot of business in New York. And you know what? I didn't want to buy a membership at some gym over there. So what I would do is I would just go to the local playground, right? And in some playgrounds, they had, specialized like exercise equipment. It usually consisted of pull-up bars, dipping bars, a sit-up bench. But in other playgrounds that I was at, they didn't have any of that. So I just used the children's equipment to do my workout, right? Now, of course, I did this when I was there. There weren't any kids there. It was either early in the morning or late at night. So I want to share. It's a full body workout, okay? Because a lot of times it actually took me a while to figure out how to hit some of the muscles that I would normally hit in a gym, like biceps, back, leg curls, right? How do you do that in the playground slash prison environment? I say playground slash prison because this is the type of workout that people in prison typically do, because since the 80s, 90s, they pretty much took out all the weights out of most of the prisons, from what I hear, right? I've never been there, but from what I hear. So the prison guys have to work, they have to make do with very basic pull-up bars and dipping bars and stuff like that. Okay? So I'm going to go through the workout. Like normally I would do like 4 sets, of at least 10 or 12 reps of each. I'm just going to do 1 set and just kind of just go through the line, okay? So I'm going to start with something really basic that, you probably don't even need any, you could just do on the floor. But I like doing it off of a bar, and usually at the playgrounds, I can find something, a bar, horizontal bar, that's about, that's about this high, right? That I can do my push-ups on, okay? So I'll just pop out a quick 10. Okay, so while I'm doing that, because of the slightly elevated angle, it is hitting my upper chest a little bit. Okay, because the angle's a little bit high like that, because the bar's a couple of inches off the ground. And it's also hitting my calves a little bit, because I'm using my calves to push into the bar, okay? And then what I'll typically do is superset that with a back exercise. And I'll show you how I do my back exercise. Okay, let me pause the camera. Okay, so for a back exercise, I'll usually find a bar at a playground that's about this high, right? Yeah, like if you have some kids' equipment or whatever, okay? And I'll do my middle back, and this is what it looks like. So I'll grab here, straighten out my legs. Okay, so that hits your upper. So that's the equivalent of your bent over rows, okay? Make sure I had the right angle. Yeah, you guys should have been able to see that. So that's the equivalent of, doing your bent over rows, okay? Really, that's the second largest muscle group. Your back, that's basically second to your legs, okay? Your legs are first, your lats are second. These arms are basically designed to, these muscles are designed to pull your entire body weight, okay? So the next thing I'm going to go into is I'm going to show you how I do my shoulders at a playground. And actually, I'll do that right here. Let me just change the angle a little bit on this camera. Okay. So I actually started doing this a couple of times at a playground, but the problem is there was usually somebody else, a couple other people working out, and I ended up messing up my video. So I needed a place like this where, I can do it on my own. So to do my shoulders, right, Basically, it's a one-handed push-up, but instead of like facing the bar, so you need the bar about this high, instead of facing the bar, I'm going to turn sideways. I'm going to put the bar over here, right? Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm going into it sideways, and that's working my shoulders. Okay. So basically, as I'm going like this, that's working these shoulder muscles. And then I just flip over to this side. I'll do the other arm. Now I usually just superset this back and forth. While I'm doing one arm, the other one's resting. Okay, so that's how I work my shoulders. Okay, basically, it's just like doing shoulder presses, but instead of doing the shoulder presses straight up, you're doing the shoulder presses at balance. So instead of going up, you're going out. But it's the same muscle that's contracting. It's just, it's just really your elbow's the one that's going in a different direction. Because whether I'm going like this or I'm going like that, the shoulders, this muscle's doing the same thing. Okay, so let me pick this up. And I'll show you guys, put the ball way up here, show you guys how I do my lats. That shouldn't be too, that's something that you guys are probably very familiar with. Let me pause this with the camera. So usually at our playground, it's easy to find a high bar for pull-ups. The problem is like a lot of guys that go to the park that work out, like all they do is like pull-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups. And if you use this equipment, right, if you're familiar with some of these exercises, you can actually hit your whole body, okay? So pull-ups, I just move the bar to the top of the squat rack here. Just grab the grip here. I bend my knees here. All right. That's how we move 250 pounds up and down. All right, so let me pause the camera. I'll show you the next exercise. So the next exercise I want to show you guys is how I work my traps, okay? These muscles up here. Again, without using any of the weights. Usually I can find some bar that's at the perfect height. This one's a little bit too short for me. But here, obviously I can rearrange it, I can adjust it one of these other bars. But usually I can find some bar that I can grip like this, right? And just apply a little bit of tension and do my shrugs against a bar. Now in this case, I've had to actually split my legs. I don't know if you can see that. Sometimes I have to stand with my legs wider, sometimes it's more narrow, so it depends on the height of the bar. So on this particular bar, I gotta split my legs under the bar. Let me see if I make sure you guys can see it. Point it down a little bit. So that's gonna be judged by the height of the bar that you're pulling against to do your shrug. So on this one, because of this height, I have to split my legs like this in order to get the right tension. And right now, yeah, I'm definitely getting plenty of tension on my traps. Okay, so let's pause for a second. Let's talk for a second. Because a lot of people will say that, hey, if you've got, that this type of workout beats using free weights. And no, that's not what I'm saying here. You will definitely get a more specialized workout using the free weights, specialized in terms of making you stronger, okay? So I use the free weights to get strong, okay? But when I'm traveling, I'm able to do these exercises to very well maintain my strength, okay? Now the other benefit, because I've been lifting weights for this point almost 30 years, right? It actually helps if you're familiar with being in the gym and working out, and specifically, if you've been working out long enough so that you know what it feels like to work your traps, or what it feels like to work your back muscles, or what your shoulders are supposed to feel like when they're working, okay? Because having that knowledge, which is actually easier to develop in the gym, makes it possible to then come to, to go to like a playground, or that the Democrats send you to prison, if you're in prison, you're able to use very basic equipment and work out with, but you know what feeling you're going for. You know that the right muscle is being hit, that the muscle that you want to target is being targeted, because you've already established that knowledge in the gym. It's easier to learn it in the gym rather than doing this type of a workout. But once you know it, yeah, then you can do these type of exercises to maintain. Okay, so next thing I want to show you guys is how I train my triceps. Okay, so training triceps on basic equipment was one of those that took me a little while to kind of figure out the obvious. Okay, now here's the thing: a lot of people are like, okay, you train your triceps just by doing close grip push-ups, right? The problem is when you're doing close grip push-ups or any push-down exercises, right? If you're doing any push-down exercises like this, that's only working the two heads. In order to hit all three heads, right? Because tri meaning three heads, right? In order to hit all three heads, your arm has to be up, okay? So when we're working out with weights, what we do is we do lying triceps, right? In order to hit all three heads. So if we don't have weights, the way I do it is I'll come to a bar like this, and I'll position my hand basically at the height of my forehead, okay? And I'll do push-ups into that, bringing my elbow down to a 45-degree angle, okay? So now this has the benefit of I got my arm raised, so it's hitting all three heads. Okay, so that's how I have learned to work out my triceps when I'm at the playground. And basically what this is, it's a one-handed, lying tricep, or one-handed skull crusher, as some people call it. That's what I'm simulating here. And again, because I've been working out for years, right, doing these lying triceps, right, I know what this is supposed to feel like, okay? So, again, years of training in the gym make this type of a workout a lot more effective. Because, for example, right now I'm feeling, the burn in my tricep. If I start feeling it somewhere else, like let's say my shoulder, whatever, I know that I don't have the right angle. So definitely start working out in the gym, and then later on, this is your backup. Okay, good. All right, let me show you guys how I do biceps now. I'll move the camera back for that. Okay, so biceps is one of those exercises, like how the hell do you hit your biceps without doing curls? Now a lot of guys are like, well, just do close grip pull-ups. And yeah, I mean, that will also hit it, right? Before, when I was doing my pull-ups, that was also hitting my biceps, but it doesn't really isolate it. I found a good way to isolate it. What I'll do is I'll come up to a ball like this, right? You can definitely find something at a playground, right? Go full extension. And if you notice, my hand is basically in the center of my chest. Because if it was further out, I'd be using my back muscles. I want to isolate my bicep muscles. And go to full extension here. I'll do it, make sure I'm in the camera. Do the other side. Actually, let me see if I can place the camera in front here. There's a good spot right there. Because the important thing for this exercise, in order for it, is that my hand, right, is basically in line with the center of my chest. And I'm bringing my feet forward. And I'm basically using my body weight. But my hand has to be in the middle of my chest in order to activate, like to really concentrate that bicep muscle. Because otherwise you're gonna, if I'm out here pulling, I'm using my back muscles. We already did that earlier. That was the one with the bar going across over here, where we were simulating the bent over rows. Okay, good. Again, full extension. Let me show you guys how I do legs now. Let me set the camera up again. All right, so anybody that knows anything about working out knows that squats are the king of all exercise, right? So squats, you got the bar in your back, you're squatting down. Okay, that not only works your legs, it basically works your whole body, but it not only works the muscles, it works your entire metabolism, your entire nervous system. It just activates your pituitary gland. That's really what kicks your whole body into get stronger mode. Okay, so ideally, when you're doing squats, you want to be doing it with your body weight, right? So, if you weigh, if you're a fat 250-pound guy like me, you want to have 250 pounds on your back doing squats, okay? But if I don't have that, what am I going to do? A lot of people are like, oh, well, just sit here and do 100 of these, right? Like that. Well, that's boring as hell, and that takes a long time, okay? And I don't have a long time. So what I do is I do basically one leg squats, okay? Now, sometimes I'll see people at the park trying to do weird things like this karate ninja shit, and they're all bound. So there's a really easy way to do this, right? Get a bar that's about this high. Yeah, actually, make sure I'm on the camera. Back this up just a little bit more. That should be good right there. Okay, so get a bar that's about this high. Put your foot up here, lean into it, right? All right, so basically all your weight is off this foot. And now you're squatting on this leg over here, okay? You might have to bounce around a little bit until you get balanced. So, me having 250 pounds on my back and squatting, well, doing this one-legged, it's like, okay, now I got my full body weight on this one leg. So I'm achieving pretty much almost the same weight. And I can achieve this with only 10 reps instead of having to do like 100. Okay, so you can see that's tiring as hell. Okay, probably the most, of all the exercises I did, probably the most tiring. Just flip it around, do the other leg. So basically I'm just pushing into this bar for balance. I've seen other people try to do this at the park, and they haven't quite figured out how to balance themselves. Just put your, it could be a bench, just push into it, right? So if you fall, you're gonna fall that way into the bar, all right? And now balance you. And then bounce around here until you find a balance point. Pull your pants up if you need to, all right? Bounce a little bit, and then just squat down. So that's how I do my legs when I'm at the park. Okay. Now, the great thing about this is working your glutes, working your quads, working your lower back as you're balancing yourself. It's working the inside of your leg, that groin area, which is really important because a lot of times people don't work the inside of the leg, and if they get into a grappling type of situation, they pull a groin. So this will actually stretch that out. And I'll do other exercises, like this, just to, back and forth. But that's a secondary exercise. Again, that, getting weight on one leg, but also stretching out and working the muscle on the inside of the leg here near the groin area. That's really important because you don't want that muscle to get weak, because in a grappling type of situation, that's really easy to pull. Let me put up the bar And I'm also going to show you how I do leg curls, right? Leg curls, the leg bicep back here. Really important, because if you think about it, if you're in a grappling situation and you go to trip someone, right, what do? You hook your heel behind them and you pull, okay? And for most people, if that muscle is weak, you're gonna get a cramp. So the muscle I want to work now is the leg bicep, which is really important. Like if you're gonna try and hook somebody and grapple with them, if the back of the leg isn't strong, you're gonna get a cramp and it's gonna hurt, and then you're gonna get your ass kicked in the grappling match. Okay, so the way I do this, the way I learn to do this is at the park, wherever you're at, find a bar or a wall, put your heel up against it, and then just use that as resistance to go up and down. It works. You get good tension, really squeeze it at the top, because that's when people usually cramp up. And same thing, do 4 sets of this. Again, this is maintenance work, right? If you slip off the bar or whatever you're working on, no big deal, just get back on it. Because that's going to happen. All right? You can feel the tension, right? Again, that's why it's good to work out in the gym. So you know what a leg curl is supposed to feel like. Because right now, this feels like I'm on a leg curl machine. Doing 1 leg curls. Oh. Get that tight concentration. We'll go to the other side. Same thing here. You may have to, space yourself. Move a little bit front, move a little bit back. Where do you need to be in order to get that right feeling? Oh, slipped. No big deal. Just get back on it. Oh. I don't have a leg curl machine here. So this is actually my regular leg curl exercise. This is where I normally do for leg curls. Like I'll do like bent over, like straight-legged deadlifts and stuff like that. But this really concentrates the back of the leg, which is crucial if you're trying to leg hook someone. Get a nice tight concentration at the top. That hits it. And lastly, hold on, pause you guys. And lastly, well, it's not lastly, it's actually, I did this at the beginning of the workout before I even started videotaping, before I kind of remembered that I wanted to do this video for you guys. Usually I'll start off with some sit-ups to warm up, and I'll finish off with them. I'll do different variations, I'll do legs down, like that. I'll do legs up in the air, I'll do legs rested, do all sorts of different variations. Try twisting a little bit, go to that knee, go to that knee, go to that knee, go to that knee. So I do different variations like that. So that's my playground / prison workout. Now, the nice thing about, let me lift up the camera a little bit. The nice thing about having a private place like this to work out is between my sets, that's when I practice my draw stroke. Okay, so normally I'll do a set, turn around, practice my draw stroke. Okay, relax, do set. Yeah. So obviously this is not something I do at the playground, right? So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And basically, the goal here is, because a lot of times you have people like, yeah, I know I can go to the playground, do some pull-ups, push-ups, and sit-ups, but you can actually hit the whole body, right? There's a lot of variation of these exercises that you can do. Like, just real quick, like one of the variations that I'll do, let me bring this down, that I like doing, if I have, I don't think I'm going to be long enough here. I'll be able, yeah, this is not, but sometimes I'll have like long dipping bars, and what I'll do is I'll grab here, and I'll wrap my legs onto the other end of the dipping bar, so I'm hanging, right, with my feet crossed and the bar in between, and what I do is I do close grip, what would be like the equivalent of like low pulley rows in the gym, right, with your hands close together. well, I'll hang off of the dipping bars, cross my legs over the bar, hang, you know, that gives your biceps and in the middle of your back a good isolation. So yeah, definitely, you know, you can get creative. You know, this is not like the only things that you can do, but this is a good starting point, right? So I just wanted to kind of give you guys the idea that you can, you know, you can do more than just push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups at your local park if that's the only thing that you have available to you, you know, because you're traveling or whatever. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon. Drop some comments below. And if you got some of your own ideas, please post them.